Oddball show features content intended for mature audiences. If you'd like to view a content warning before listening, please check out the episode description. The views put forth by our hosts and our guest reflect the speaker's opinions and not the official stance of Oddball Foundation. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody, and good evening. This is Jason Wright, editor of Oddball Magazine. Happy to be here for another week that was. With me, I have, as always, my guest, and my co-host, Chad Printo, associate editor of Oddball Magazine. Hello, Chad.
Except for last week, in which I was completely sick. But
you were sick.
But yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. And
Don't ever take a tetanus shot. Take the rusty nail and get lockjaw, because holy crap, I had a bad tetanus shot reaction.
At least you didn't die.
At least
everybody, he's here to tell a tale.
And I'm here to tell you, avoid needles of any kind. I'm hanging with RFK. It's just like staying away from everything.
Eating a possum omelets and what's good.
Exactly. Good Lord.
All right, and we have. You can't have an opossum omelet because opossums can't make eggs. But anyway, we have also on the show here Tim Gager.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody. Your microphone's bigger than my microphone.
Hello, Tim.
Hey, how are you?
I'm gonna set my mic down here.
I remain.
By the way,
shadows.
It's JFK Jr. I mean, the only thing that
it's RFK Jr. Goofy.
Yeah.
RFK Jr.
All right, the only thing that RFK has to stay away from is Los Angeles and guns.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, Dallas and guns.
No, RFK was Los Angeles.
Oh, I'm thinking of JFK. I'm thinking of the wrong Kennedy assassination.
See, you're thinking of the wrong vaccine.
Think of the wrong Kennedy. The wrong kid died. So anyway,
After JFK got some metal inside of him, he needed a tetanus shot, I believe. That's the first thing they gave him in the Dallas hospital.
I'm pretty sure the driver gave him that tetanus shot. Oh, zingers all around, everybody.
That's all right. The Republicans love us. We're making.
Hey Tim, doesn't Chad look like the kind of like in one of those shows where you're interviewing the guy and you don't want to see what his face looks like? He
insisted she was 17. I don't know what to say. Yeah, it was.
Oh, here we go.
And then I said they were magically delicious.
Oh my God! This is like ever devolving to the shadows. Hello.
The shadows of the scene.
Yeah. So
who is Chad and who is Tim? Let the viewers take a guess. Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3?
Two guys and a shitty podcast. Okay, answer made. Now let's.
So if you're listening to the podcast, these guys are in complete darkness. Now Tim is no longer. Tim is actually in good illumination.
This suits my mood. I might keep it.
I've got my over.
But Chad looks like the guy that is like the whistleblower at like something.
He's the guy. He's the guy, the secret guy in the Frosted Flakes commercial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't care. Who knows? Whoops. Yeah.
I'm the adult that likes Frosted Flakes.
They're great. Frosted Flakes. They're great.
Let me see if I can get some extra light in here.
Well, we're just gonna keep on.
There we go.
So, how's things going, Tim? How's things going with you, buddy?
The book launch was a big success.
I was there.
Yeah, Jason was there.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I was there.
Chad was not a good friend. They could have brought him in a wheelchair and a like a Johnny and a hand to poop in. He could have done that, but no, he just couldn't come.
I had a weird dish at that place. I had poke bow buns.
Bowel buns?
Bow.
Bao buns? What the hell are you?
Bao is like a Korean thing, and there's poke, which is tuna, and then bao.
You're a
with the bao.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm a Pokemon.
You had fried Pokemon. You're like,
yeah, and then after Chad,
Outside
after Tim's excellent reading at his book launch, we went. Get this, we went to the
stop name dropping.
We went to the Steampunk Festival.
We went to the Steam. I still don't understand what it is.
I know. I don't know.
They were pounding out horseshoes to nail it to the bottom of Jason's feet. He like clopped down Moody Street.
I felt like I felt at home. I felt at home with the jug bands and everything, and
there was some nice jugs there.
Decent jug.
And there was a scuba band
together
doing their spinning around Grateful Dead dance to them. I didn't quite understand what was going on.
And then there was always that one person with like the ribbon dancer.
Yeah,
even at the Steampunk Festival, does that fit in?
I thought that was an Olympic event.
I don't know. I mean, for some reason, I look the least steampunk that I've been in a while. So I don't know. I could have walked out with the goggles.
As opposed to looking more steampunk, what do you do? Have like a metal, aluminum laced ball cap? Like what? How have you looked more steampunk?
I wore my steam goggles and an upside down funnel on my head. I don't think I pulled it off.
You would have fit right in if you wore steam goggles. I mean, that's the place to wear steam goggles.
Absolutely.
But it was actually pretty cool. Waltham does some cool stuff. So shout out to the Steampunk Festival.
Well, what happens in Waltham is they close all the institutions and they develop them into the Steampunk Festival.
I felt like it was kind of like could have been easily the Oddball Festival.
Could have been,
but it wasn't. It was they didn't know who we were.
Jason putting like secret stickers on everything.
Yeah,
let's do rebranding.
Well, after they did like the tuba solo version of Freebird, Jason grabbed the mic and be like, "All right, this is Jason Rice Ball Foundation."
Yeah, all right. I know. I could have done 5 minutes
out of there.
Yeah. So that was that, and then I that was our Saturday. It was pretty good. It was a good book launch, Tim.
Book launch
I was comatose. I missed you guys.
Dad was dying.
Awesome.
I'm glad.
And
you had your birthday. How was your birthday?
If year 51 is the year that pounded me into paste, year 52 is going to be the big giant boot that scrapes said paste off on the asphalt. Like this is, I can't get into details. I can't get into details, but I didn't even. But like. This weekend was kind of a nightmare, and maybe I'll be able to talk about it later when I'm through it. But it's been, let's just say I'm signing NDA contracts right now, non-disclosure.
Okay, all right.
It's been a.
It was that kind of birthday.
It wasn't even my birthday when it happened. I celebrated my birthday hiding under a desk. You know, it was bad. I'm like, I do not want to come out anymore.
Oh my god!
Well, for his birthday,
Mother's Day kicked my ass.
Mother's
Day. For his birthday, he got a tetanus shot and he got a copy of JFK, His Life, His Legacy.
His Life, His Legacy. Yeah. So, all right. So I'll do a quick plug for Tim's book, Shadow of the Scene. Tim just released his brand new 20th novel of poetry and of poems and novels. He's on his 20th novel, and it is.
No, he's on his like 5th novel, right? Fourth.
It's my 4th novel, my 20th book.
Did I confuse that? I mean,
you confused that tremendously.
You confused me. I don't know how many books I've written now.
Can't take me anywhere. Anyway, Shadows of the Scene available.
And it broke the top 100 list on Amazon today, the first day of its release. So check it out, buy it. It's great.
It deals with the gun issue in the United States within the novel, covering all angles using the book's characters.
There you go. See, Chad's heard me do this spiel before. Yeah. I remember once, they had an authors event at the old New England Book Fair, and there's a bunch of authors lined up. And, when you have authors lined up in a bookstore, they're kind of what they're doing, they're kind of all like sideshow barkers, so they're spitting out their elevator pitches. And by the end of the afternoon, I walked up to each table and I said their pitch back to them. It was awesome.
Nice. Nice. Well, meanwhile,
What about his other podcast?
Huh? Oh,
What about the other? What about his the other podcast that Tim does? The good one.
Oh, the good one.
One.
The good one. You're speaking of the Two Deans, of course.
Yeah, like I'm always like, hey, listen to the Two Deans, Disaster Dreads, Dating Dread and Disaster, and they're like, oh, and you want another one? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's all right.
If one of us was gay, this whole podcast would be in an episode of the Two Deans.
So if you check out episode 7, which dropped this week, thanks to Jason, our producer, it has to do with we bring back Lisa from episode 2, and this time
number 2 ensues.
Number 2 ensues. That's all we're gonna say. The date was Bathroomist Interruptus. So that's all we got to say about her disaster date. Chad, did you go on a date with her last week?
Yeah.
It would have been. I wish I could say yes, because it would have been infinitely better than the weekend that I had.
The weekend I wish was. That's what this episode's called. The week that Chad had. So, all right. Well, you guys want to delve into a little Oddball magazine from May?
Yes, and thanks
May 5th?
My God, I wish I was thinking you'd never get to that. That sounds amazing. Let's do that.
Hey, it's been 12 minutes
before we even got into the podcast. So
yeah, we've had the Oddball show 38 minutes, and we haven't reviewed Oddball magazine yet. So 12
hey, Chad, do you know there's a third Dean in the podcast coming up? Like, really? Tell me more. Like,
who's the third Dean?
God.
Dean Warmer.
So we're gonna start off with a poem by Ari Whipple, with photography by Edward S. Galt.
I love how Tim just like cracked himself up with the Dean Wormer joke.
Dean Wormer joke.
I actually got that. I guess I saw Animal House.
I bought myself.
I rate that joke a 0.0.
0.0. Good talk.
All right, poem by Ari Whipple. I'll start off. May 5th, 2025.
That's last Monday.
Little protests. There's something that reminds me that the world is waking again, slowly, very slowly. Just remember that the timelines of now, and yes, I speak of tyrants and dictators, but every time has their villains. Speak in whispers in your descent, in your back rooms and alleys, in places where they can't go. Start small to places in the cracks that fall between, where you are hidden from them, because they will certainly try to break a bigger you. They've been trying to make it so that we can't gather and protest. In my now is that your future. But 2 is a protest. Staying at a bus stop is a riot. Waiting in line for coffee is a defense. Texting is a thing you can do. They think they can put you in a box, smaller and smaller. Make it so that you are isolated and they are villains, big and mighty strong, and that you are weak, nothing. And I'm not going to give the rest of it away, but if you want to read the rest, you can check out Oddball magazine. May 5th is where we kicked it off.
So we read everything that's published this week except the last line of it.
Yeah.
Ari Whipple is a poet from Muskegon, Michigan, currently in their last semester semesters of their master's degree at Southern New Hampshire University for screenwriting. They have a BA in journalism from Central Michigan University. They have several books, including Full of Now, Psalm of the Issue of the Psych Ward, and Beachfront Property. They are currently working on their latest book, The Dark Water Affair. And props, of course, goes to Edward S. Galt, a poet and fine arts photographer from Brighton, Mass. His work has appeared in Oddball magazine, Spectrum, Wilderness House Literary Review, Interlude, Currents, and Encore. His poetry collection, Airhead and Other Poems, was published this year by Red and Green Books.
All right.
Very good. I like, what you're using the word walking reminds me of the not so hidden racism that we grew up with in our generation. Do you remember like when they introduced like an Asian character in TV in the movies, and a gong would go off.
Oh God! Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Yes.
it'd be like aso, aso. Like I
Oh,
don't
the
know
way I
if
said
I
walking.
recovered from that
Oh yeah, it was a good recovery. Thank you.
gong. All right, copy.
And with
And
that,
now, and now the glues that Anskov has used. Personally, I'm a Mel Elmers man until I die, but various other glues are featured in this week's She Who Laughs Lass, including mucilage, strange rubber applicator. Really works. I agree. Contains the spirit of an elementary school teacher from the 1970s. Actually works quite well. Mod Podge, Sparkle Mod Podge, allegedly the best. I hate anything with Sparkle. Disappearing Purple gets an honorable mention, and of course the Leuctite Super Glue, always very dangerous. Made glue fingers together. But I'm an Elmer's man until I die. Ann Scove lives in her hometown of Cincinnati. Her comics first appeared in local street paper Street Vibes and Article 25. She is a frequent contributor to Funny Times and Belt Magazine, both based in Southern Ohio. She considers having her comics up on your refrigerator door to be the highest form of praise. Reading them while you're on the can is an acceptable close second.
what happened there?
Nice. Jason and I, when we did Ann's comics last week, we had a failed experiment. Do you want to describe it to folks?
Oh, it wasn't that much of a failed experiment. It was describe the artwork while
because people don't always see the screen, or if they're listening to the podcast. So as Jason was reading the text, I was describing the artwork.
Yeah, it was pretty great actually, and we did it for the rest of the show, and it was actually pretty good. I think maybe we'll continue that, for the visually impaired. So
So I fucked things up is basically what you're saying. Okay.
No, not at all. I just thought of it as we were doing it.
Yeah.
Actually,
We'll do it moving on.
Do you know what's a good practical joke? Replace someone's eyeliner with super glue.
Oh God.
It's funny for weeks. And then we can describe pictures because they're visually impaired.
All right. We got Grady Van Wright again.
I got chicken in the oven. You read this. Well, you read this one, Jason or Tim.
I'll read this one.
Okay.
All right.
What part of it? Remember everything up until the last paragraph and/or line.
Yeah, right.
We'll truncate it. Essay by Grady Van Wright with artwork by Richard Spisak.
You nailed it.
And you get to read Richard Spisak's bio.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait.
The task force came at noon. They came at noon. They always do. Men with clipped hair and black folders. They called it the Joint Task Force to combat anti-Semitism. A good name, a strong name, a name you put on a ship before sending it into a storm. They said they came to protect Jewish students. They said they came to fight hate. But the folders didn't mention swastikas or slurs. They mentioned diversity, equality, and inclusion. They mentioned admissions quotas. They mentioned Harvard and Columbia and the billions of federal dollars floating like fat trout beneath the surface. In Cambridge, the president of the university stood at the gates. He wore a fine suit in the face of a man who had been spoken to by people with no sense of irony. The men with the folders said DEI was discriminatory, that inclusion had gone too far, that merit had suffered under the weight of kindness. They said Jews were unsafe, and they might be, but DEI hadn't put them there, and it sure as hell wasn't going to get them out. Down in Washington, the men held press conferences. They said this was about anti-Semitism. They said this was about safety. They used words like liberation. The fascists in Spain had used the same words. They liberated cities by setting them on fire and calling them the ashes clean. And we'd like to read the rest of this essay having to do with the subject matter that we introduced the essay with. It's under Grady Van Zandt. The task force came at noon.
Chad, do you want to read the bios?
No, but I will. Here we go.
What was going on while I was reading that? It sounded like Chad was throwing chicken around.
It sounded like he
I
was.
was actually. Grady Van Wright is a poet, author, and playwright whose work blends introspection, independence, and the surreal edges of the human condition. Based in Houston, Texas, he has been writing and reading poetry for over 25 years, drawing inspiration from a lifetime of experiences and historical fascinations. His work has also been published in Washington Square Review, the McNeese Review, and numerous online literary journals. With a distinctive voice that merges stream of consciousness with moderate surrealism, Grady continues the craft, evocative narratives that challenge perception and invite contemplation. Now, Richard Spizak began his artistic career as a light artist in the Lumonics studios of Mel Tanner, a legendary light artist, after serving under Jack Horkheimer as a planetarium operator at the Miami Space Transit Planetarium. He left to begin traveling with Luminous Kenvin Lyman, whose show Dazzleland Studios traveled across America. Richard later worked as a laserist with Laserium and Laser Productions, served as a technical producer for the festival company Pace Concerts, and later as operations manager and senior producer at WWHP and WTCN TV in Stuart, Florida. He writes for theater, TV, radio, and the web. He published 2 short story collections, 2 Small Windows, In a Pair of Mirror Doors, and Between the Silences, followed by his poetry collection, 7370 Allen Drive, and the recently released Stone Poetry. He also produces Poets of the East, a televised webcast featuring poets from across the globe.
Water.
Poets, the thrill of victory and the agony of line breaks.
And if we were to describe this art,
I want to see this. Yes.
How would you describe this artwork, Tim?
Which one is this? Is this the frog?
The Dawn of All Religions.
Oh, I hit next and I went to the wrong one.
Oh.
That artwork. Oh. It kind of looks like there's religious people. It looks like there's a Trump in the middle wearing like the King Tut outfit from Steve Martin. It's definitely it definitely makes a statement.
Is it Trump in all 3 of them?
No.
I think it might be.
You think? I don't know. I have this. It is Trump in all of them. Holy no! The one on the left, are you sure the teeth don't look like Trump?
Or the beard.
No,
and that you have to go to the website and check it out.
But the other 2 look Trump.
The other 2 definitely look Trump.
Chad, can you give us a Trump talking about religion?
Oh God, yeah, I'm the best God. I'm declaring myself Pope. I think the Pope election was rigged. I'm going to be calling myself Pope Trump John Paul George Ringo, the first. I'm the best Beatle. I'm also the best Pope. I need you to pledge loyalty and fealty to me. I think fealty is a more impressive form of loyalty, but pledge both to me, and your gas prices will automatically go down below $3. You'll still have to pay a little extra, but that's not for the gas. That's a tithe. That's a tribute to me, that you're tithing to me when you're paying for gas at the same time. We make convenient one-stop Pope.
Mr. Trump, I have a question from the Oddball magazine. Will we be able to purchase cheap eggs at cheap gas stations?
You might be able to purchase cheap women at cheap gases before you can purchase cheap eggs. I like Grady's last. I thought I liked Grady's last essay better because it was all about Trump and the art of war. Except I thought it was the art of whores, and there's no one who whores better than me.
Best whore.
No one's a better whore than me. Okay, this is getting old even for me.
Yeah,
let's fucking move on.
Moving on.
Chad's the worst Trump impersonator now. Sad, really sad.
The Oddball show is a real horror show.
May 5th, 2025. We're still on May 5th. Comic Spotlight with Alex Soriano.
Did we not do this one last week?
No. I don't remember.
I kind of remember it's the same plane from last week, but it also seems like the same comic from last week.
It literally says that's the same plane from last week, so the world does revolve around me.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So if you listened to the show last week, our commentary is just as funny.
Just now it's just strengthened by Chad, so it's Chad to the third,
Fortified by Chad.
fortified. Alex Soriano
More like
grew up a
putrefied.
fan of comics. He was putrefied. He was largely inspired by The Far Side and Ziggy. He has published in the Vashon Loop, the Vashon Riptide, and other venues. All right. May 6th.
Ziggy
Thank God.
played guitar.
Poem by Susan Isla Tepper with photography by W.F. Lantry.
I'll read this one.
All right.
Escaped. Misplaced sorrow teeters at the brink, though the fish in the pond swim contently. No one, nothing will betray them. Every morning so hungry for a fresh start, the sun's yolk shining. You take out the bread, butter, jams, and all the trimmings. Try taking out love. It has escaped you.
Susan Isla Tepper has a new novel released from Spuyten Duyvil Books, New York City, titled Hair of a Fallen Angel. A 20-year writer, she is the author of 12 published books of fiction and poetry and 7 stage plays. Tepper has been nominated 21 times for the Pushcart Prize in both fiction and poetry. Her play The Crooked Heart, concerning artist Jackson Pollock, premiered on October 25th, 2022 at the Irish Repertory Theater in New York City. Adapted from an earlier novel, it was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. The YouTube music video for her new novel was made by the Tim Young and Paula Parente.
Paula Parente.
Not Chad Parento.
No relation.
Or Paula Parento Stone. Paula
W.F. Lantry, a native of San Diego, is a widely published prize-winning
San Diego.
poet and fiction writer who has been featured in poetry journals and readings nationally and internationally. He currently lives in Washington, D.C. He taught for 8 years at La Université de Nice in France, earning his license in maîtrise in English literature, linguistics, and translation. During this time, he won the Paris Atlantic Young Writers Award. Boston University awarded him a fellowship to study with Derek Walcott and George Starbuck, who together directed his thesis. There he received an MA in English and Creative Writing. He holds a PhD in Literature and Creative Writing from the University of Houston, where he worked with Donald Barthel, Ed Hirsch, Mary Robeson, Jamie Robeson, and Adam Zagajewski. He has taught at 12 different universities on 2 continents in a variety of fields, most often in literature and rhetoric, but also in history, library science, world civilizations, and information technology. He served as Director of Academic Technology at a national research university in Washington, D.C. for 15 years.
I apologize, Jason, because I probably should have read this bio, because now you have to take a big sip of water and get to the next poem for Tuesday. Yours.
Yeah. Big sip of water.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jagged Thought.
Thought.
No. Okay. Jagged Thought 567.
I don't know what that was, Tim.
Yeah.
It was glass. It was a jagged piece of glass breaking.
Oh.
At a show where I don't belong, I think in unison with the sound of the floor. This floor knows more than I ever could. I'm an apple picked and mentally sewn, sleeves of sheep who will pick up this tab, put it on my acid tongue, and let me slip into the ether as this, that, or either. You never saw my program. My mind is jammed with apple jam. I'm just a shoulder to lean on if you're needy, a treat to be picked. I'm just another Cybertron with cyber feelings, a Westworld where I feel everything.
I like that one, Jason.
Thank you, Tim.
He is the editor and founder of Oddball magazine. His column appears weekly. His third book, Train of Thought 2, Almost Home, is available now at Oddball Bookstore.
His bio is short. It wins. It wins everything.
The last bio was longer than the Tepper poem.
Yeah, that was a long bio. That was a long bio.
I think that last bio was longer than all the poems so far.
Yeah, so far. That was a long bio. Robert-
In kindergarten, he liked to where he chewed on pencils.
I shouldn't bitch.
In third grade, he was reprimanded for soiling himself.
Third grade. So I'm going to write about tomorrow.
We're going to write a bio that includes every year of his life.
Every minute of every hour.
This is a good show tonight.
I guess I'm doing this one.
Hey, Robert Fleming. Who did the Robert Fleming impression the other day? It was great.
I did. He hasn't shown up at Stone Soup or Dyer since we impersonated him.
Oh, I don't think that's personal.
That's not true. He has.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Aren't you from the same location as him?
I know he's from Dover, Delaware.
Delaware.
So this is actually the artwork here that he did. Oh, it's not. Yeah, the artwork that he did here is very different than his usual artwork.
Yeah, it is.
So I like it.
Okay, yes, it is.
Yes.
So I've got a question about this piece. There seems to be contact information in the middle of this piece, and without reading that, is that part of the piece, or is that like a misplaced?
That's his water. The equivalent of his watermark.
No, the contact. Why is the contact there?
Are you supposed to answer? How can Claire say no to that? I think she message. I think
why is the contact thing there? Did I do that?
Well, just read it. Like, you end the paragraph. How can Claire say name required?
Yeah, what happened?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Are you kidding me? The contact information is in the middle of the poem.
Oh, what the hell is that?
Contact me. I thought it was part of the piece.
I thought it was part of the piece.
That is the strangest thing. I know it is not supposed to be part of it. No. Let me see if I can fix that right now in the name of Christ and all the apostles.
Hold on, I'm writing you a message.
Yeah,
right in this.
Oh, that's so funny though.
I just submitted it. I had what the fuck is this? Is the message.
I wonder if I'm gonna get an email.
Oh, what the hell?
Was that the day that were you?
Did
I do that?
Now on my screen, after it says "How can Claire say no to that?" It has your message has been sent, and it says Tim Gager email message. What the fuck is this?
So if you're listening on the podcast, you won't.
Jason, do you want to fill out the boxes while Chad reads it?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
This is what I get for fucking being completely ass sick last week and still putting out the fucking magazine.
It's kind of cool though. Well, I mean, don't fret. I love Lisa Olson.
I think.
Well, now I fixed it. So if you press request, if you press refresh, it's no longer there.
Oh, you just took away the fun.
Yeah. I'm doing it right now.
I will kill you.
Let's see.
Oh, it's coming out weird.
What's coming out weird?
It's coming out like brown, and Robert's thing is like sideways.
What are you talking about?
I'll show you my screen. You want to see my screen?
Whoa!
Yeah, there it is.
What just
Exactly.
happened?
Wait a minute. Let me see what's going on because I have like 7 windows up here. Let's.
We're gonna fix it.
Whoa. Okay. I don't know what the hell that is.
And the weird thing is the title of the artwork, even though
It kind of fits actually. This whole thing fits. The acid is kicking in, everybody.
the acid is your acid tongue and applesauce.
What just happened? Oh
I'm
no!
gonna hit next and see if Chad might have discombobulated the whole site. Actually,
There's a glitch in the matrix.
All I know is that that's not what's showing up on mine.
Dad, look.
because you're
there's
the
a glitch in
inventor.
matrix.
You are the creator.
Oh man! Hold on. Did this do it to the next page too?
No, it didn't. I checked. What can Brown do for you?
Ah, Well,
Look how nice that is.
that's a beautiful
Nice
picture.
colors.
All right, I'm going in.
All right, I'll read it before it gets rendered.
Oh hell!
Live on Oddball Show, the catastrophe struck over the
In real
rainbow.
time. This is our lives.
This is very strange.
Yeah.
I'm going to. You read, and I'm going to fix this.
All right.
Post haste.
Over
Switch
the
and twist
rainbow.
and wish. Are you
It's
reading?
Robert Fleming's picture now that it's sideways.
Tim, are you reading?
Lisa
Yeah.
Olson's story, Switch and Kiss and Wish. A celluloid divergence, film razor slice down the middle, splitting off to form a new scene, a new life, hitting it off with a cute and nerdy trans femme named Maxine, who propositions Claire for a slice and a Coke at a pizza joint around the corner. Her treat. And how can Claire say no to that? Maxine drops up some extra grease with a napkin. Claire, opting instead to eat it as is, let it burn in her belly. Maxine looks up after a bite. You know, I usually would never do something like this. I'm shy most of the time, painfully so. I think in another life, I would have approached you. Claire smiles in the soft light, a fine mist of rain, takes windows and streaks. She has a bold eye and a vibrant dark purple lip, her impeccable wings creasing as she smiles. Yeah, well, I normally wouldn't let
It's fixed.
myself be wooed on the job, but you're just too much fun, aren't you? I've been known to have fun on occasion, yes? Only on occasion. Why not all the time? I'm working on it, and I thought, sipping from her straw, lips and O, looking up her seduction at Claire, drinking down to the ice bare. Maybe you'd like to teach me. The rain flashing the windows, steam, heat. Not even bothering to turn the lights on in Claire's apartment, wet shoes on quickly soggy carpet, the heat of their breath as mouths meet. Now, if you want to get into the more sexual part, etc., in the story, you have to read it yourself.
We'll move down to a couple paragraphs and it gets pretty.
This is getting very, very steamy. And I've got a question for the editor here. Chad.
Tim.
Is she writing this? I recognize the characters from another story.
This isn't the same person about the ice cream, is it?
If she is, she hasn't said that.
Is this the same person about the ice cream?
Their relationship is moving on from ice cream to sex.
It's introduced as flash fiction. If she's doing this as intentional chapters, she has not outright said so.
Yeah, but do you remember the ice cream piece we read? Is this?
Yes, I do.
I read it.
Yeah, are these the two
They
characters?
were
from
jogging, and then they went for ice cream, and now they're at dinner, and now they're fucking. It's the progression of a relationship.
Hold on.
At least the page is fixed.
Yeah.
Chad diverting.
Is that is that the same person? Is this the same person as
The same author.
Ah.
We'll have to look it up. But anyway, Lisa Olson is the author of the novels Here's Waldo, The Brother We Share, and Afterglow. A Best of the Net nominee, Best Small Fictions nominee, finalist for Glimmer Train's Very Short Fiction Award, in 2021 Wigleaf Longlister in and from Chicagoland. She's been published in Smoke Long Quarterly, Cleaver, Pithead Chapel, and other fine places. One of her proudest achievements was getting to run Macromic for 4 incredible years. Her fourth novel, Boundless and Bare, dropped in March and is available here. It's diagonal. Wait, I can't see it. Here, diagonal. And that dropped on 3/7/25. Find it
it's a link.
.io/boundless and bare.
It's a link. It's a link, dickhead. Robert Fleming.
Well, no one. I just did that passive aggressively because no one laughed at my Connect 4 joke.
What Connect 4 joke?
Here, diagonal. Remember the commercial? They're playing Connect 4, and the sister has 4 in a row diagonally, and she goes, "I win," and he goes, "Where? I can't see." He goes, "Here, diagonally."
Then he goes, "Pretty sneaky, sis."
Pretty sneaky, sis.
All right. Someone
Robert
want to read
Fleming,
Robert
B,
Fleming?
1963. Robert Fleming, born 1963, is a visual poet and digital artist from Lewis, Delaware. He is an editor at Old Scratch Press and Instant Noodles magazine. His books are White Noir, an Amazon bestseller, and Conway in 4-in-1 number 4. He is an award winner, 2022 San Gabriel Valley, California Broadside, 2024 and 2021 Best of Mad Swirl Poetry. Nominations 2025 Best of Short Fiction, 2023 Blood Rag Poet, Delaware Press Poem, third place, and 2 poetry honorable mentions, HM, and 1 graphic design, HM, and 2 pushcart Best in That. Follow Robert here. And there's a link.
Nice. We're up to Darcy Evans. Another question for the editor, since the last one went so well.
Oh,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake. What?
So, is this a shaped poem? Because it looks like a bomb.
Looks like a what?
A bomb.
It looks like a bomb.
Like a bomb.
All,
Like,
all poems centralized look like bongs.
Yeah.
not bongs, bomb.
Looks like a bee. Is
Like
it
a
a bee?
Like Dr. Strangelove. You know, the bomb he rides down?
It looks like a pineapple tree.
It looks like an earring from the 60s. What do you see in this poem, Chad? We'll psychoanalyze you.
I see a bomb I'm going to set up at the end of this podcast.
Vamos. Vamos en mi carro.
Vamos. Poem by Darcy Evans. Remember You for NJ. Photography by Jennifer Matthews.
Yay.
You
Hooray.
can't paint, very nice, nice photography, by the way. You can't paint the color of my sky if you hold your breath like that. Exist unto a maker, not the made. Then you are what I see, looking at me from your eyes. A beautiful soul, a spirit free. Boats don't sail. Windless and tide, let loose, cast off, and beautiful, breathe.
All right. Darcy Evans. I'm not. Darcy Evans is a homeschooling mother of 2 and writer. She have only recently returned to writing after battling head injury and illness. She enjoys sailing, hiking, writing, reading, and music. Her pronouns are she, he's pronouns are she, he, or she, her. She, hers pronouns are she, her. All right, Jennifer Matthews. I'm gonna attempt to truncate this so it's shorter than the poem.
Okay.
Poet, photographer Jennifer Matthews' poetry has been published in many fine places, a lot local, a lot national. She is nominated for a poetry award by the Cambridge Arts Council, and for her book of poetry, Fairy Tales and Misdemeanors. She's also a fine musician and is acclaimed in Italy for her musicianship and guitar playing.
We're big in Italy.
We're big in Italy.
Italy.
Oh, all right.
I added that. I didn't truncate that.
Okay, moving on. We are on to Thursday. We made it over the hump.
Sailing. I'm done with it.
I'm done with it. Chad,
All right, give me a sec. I'm reading.
Go. James Van Loy.
The goat.
586 borderline.
Traveling for the seventh heaven, or is it the very depth of a hell? Short answer, it's hell. We pass through the security gates. They put up ever higher, and lower, ever lower to the depths. We can feel the tight python clutch coils of their ever more systematic overreach into our pockets, down, so deep down into our very souls. But amazingly, we feel so ever less safe in our very much vulnerability. This fragile world and this very great growing universe dissipating away, we are so together in our very selves, feeling we are all so very collective, so one in our explicit individuality. We can see exactly what they all are doing and exactly who we sure are. James Van Loy has been a fixture in Boston poetry venues since the 1970s. He's a member of the Cosmic Spelunker Theater and has run poetry workshops for Boston area homeless people at Pine Street Inn and St. Francis House since 1992. Van Loy leads the Labyrinth Creative Movement Workshop, which has Labyrinth titled poems are based on. His work appears weekly in Oddball magazine. Mic drop.
Oddball magazine.
Oddball magazine. Yeah.
All right.
I was trying to sound like old news-timey guy. I wasn't trying to sound like like Muggsy. Yeah. But
bamboozled no more. Time management, whatever. Another week of crazy days can leave a person breathless. It's like we were running on 42 hours long days. It's distracted and breathless with no time. Quick stop and smell the let's go flowers or sorry.
Yeah, say.
Suddenly feel like we need to multitask. Outrun the wind just to keep up. Your schedule is no longer an option. Who has time to blink or watch the hands on a clock move? We wear ourselves out before we wake up. Where did time go? Was I ever a kid? Time has become an equation with too many variables. Whatever age, time doesn't matter. Just multiply numbers on a clock by 110. Can I get an amen?
Yeah, Jeremy Cormier is a painter, writes poetry, performs comedy. She's hiding in the stove, eh? Hey, Muggsy. Jenna performs different.
Oh, Rocky, don't forget to divide up the money, Rocky.
Now, hey, so if Muggsy was in the stove, would I set this burning match in there?
Oh, you might, Rabbit. You might.
You might, Rabbit. You might. Janet prefers different and original over pretty. She loves collecting stuff, but cleaning not so much. Janet also talks to strangers. A lot. Her column appears weekly on Oddball magazine. Yeah, Shay. Oddball, Shay.
Oddball, Shay. On a clock by I-10. Yeah, Shay.
Wise Words. Nix's Wise Words by Muggsy Wise. Yeah, Shay.
Yeah, Muggsy Wise, Shay.
Button your lip, Rabbit.
All right.
Shut up, shutting up.
Shut up. Shut up, or I'll give you something to shut up about.
Shutting up.
Wise words with Bruce Wise. Chad, you want to briefly explain what Bruce is doing here, and then read one of the.
No, but I will anyway. Let's.
Jane, you slut. All right.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
I guess all you're trying to say, Jane, is as long as you're on the back, the meter's running. Anyway, let's. How horrible. So it's a litany of voices and personas, all personified. See what I did there? By Mr. James Wise himself, which you can see if you look and squint at the his oh my God, at his header up at the top.
Bruce Wise, see, not James Wise. James Wise, he means nothing to us.
His column is appearing tomorrow on Friday. It also appeared last Friday. Here's one of those poems. Let's see. His personas not only encompass a style of poetry at times, but also a series of locations. Let's do The Magi Carpet by Sri Rile Sabuda. Yes, that's the correct pronunciation. Shut up. He got into the lotus pose as he had done before. So many times he would not count them all. It made him sore, although he only sat upon a mat up off the floor. But it was an activity that he did not abhor. Good for his core and his spine too. He could go very deep, almost as though he could approach the very shores of sleep. He lifted up his neck and pecs and stretched his abdomen. He tightens glutes and shoulders too. He was a flabby man. He longed to ride upon the Magi carpet. It was good. He loved to ride above the hills and valleys filled with woods. Oh, he could fly like as a bird upon its whirling wings, and for a while meditate upon unworldly things.
Come on, take me, little girl, on the Magi carpet.
I knew that was coming.
Yep.
I'm going to do one.
Sabuda is a poet of active meditation.
Oh, I don't get. I'm gonna do one of the romantics. What I like about you,
Oh, Jesus
the
Christ.
romantics by Boex Wilder. He rose up in the early morn. The sun was radiant. The elevated summits had gentle gradient. But he was pleased to see that scene, for it was beautiful. He flexed his muscles automatically, quite dutiful. He wondered at such beauty. It was marvelous indeed. It wasn't all that windy. It was peaceful and so free. He gazed in awe at those tall hills curving up above. They were inspiring, like the faith, charity, and love. He thought of the Romantics, England, France, and Germany. But that was another era, firm and fervent. Boex Wilder is a poet of the Romantic era. When he closed his eyes and he goes to sleep, 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 sleep.
Oh, no.
The Romantics from England.
Newsreel at the Kentucky Derby, Sovereignty came in first place by beating journalism and the others in the race.
Oh, God.
Newsreel.
That was actually a newsreel.
1942, newsreel. At the Kentucky Derby, Sovereignty came in first place by beating journalism and others in the race. And they all enjoyed mint juleps.
All right, so The Fat Man, here we go. By Rudy
What
E.
the hell?
Wellick.
Don't you remember the old newsreel with 1942, Secretariat wins the Kentucky Derby by a landslide.
That's what do you? How do you think I get my news from the front idea from? Every
Yeah,
when I do
That's
my
Chad's
TikTok.
bit. You're
Yeah.
taking Chad's bit.
Jockey
No,
Ron
Tim
Turcott.
just took Chad's bit.
Jockey
You are
Ron,
fucking with me, sir.
Ron Turcott was so overjoyed he had
This
Secretariat
becomes-
lowered down into his loins.
By Rudy E. Wellick Abs. He wondered how he could live with himself. He was so fat. He had so much flab everywhere around him where he sat. He wondered what would people think to see such curves and folds. He needed to reduce his carbs. He had too many rolls. At times he felt so dirty, nasty, he was just a chunk. He was no hunk, but rather a large slab of pork or chuck. Love handles didn't help. He wished that he could be more svelte. He wished he didn't feel like that, but that was how he felt. If only his abs weren't so flabby, his ass not so big. And he was not a bulky, hulking, gargantuan gig. Rudy E. Wellick's abs is a poet of exercise.
Did you read that like Bill Murray from Caddyshack?
It was like a combination of that and Chris Farley.
Yeah. It was definitely a good read. Good read.
Best read. Jesus
Best
Christ.
read, great read. And
He was so fat, the rookie sensation from out of the refrigerator.
and that was, God help us, that was the week that was. That was the week that was, everybody.
That's the week that was? Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do Patty next week.
We'll do Patricia Garrigan next week.
That was an exhausting week that was.
That was a great
Next week, what do we do until then? Oh, live our lives perfectly. Okay, great.
What are
Live
we
our
doing?
lives, Chad. Live our lives.
What do we do until then?
What are you going to do to the next week that was? Live our lives, Tim.
I'm
Live our
telling
lives.
you some literary news. So I'm going to read at WGBH Studios at their poetry thing this Saturday. And then I'm going to go to my friend Mark Saba's reading from his new novel at the Italian American Bookstore, Italian American Writers Association, at the bookstore in the North End.
Wow, that's exclusive.
Very cool.
It is
I
very
would be
cool.
doing no such thing.
We play bocce. In between readings, I'll be found playing bocce in the North End. Hey, Giuseppe, what's the little ball called? Hey, get out of here.
Get out of here, Tim.
Yeah. Hey, what's this? Tim and this. Look, Tim's on a boat. One dog's looking that way, and the other dog's going like, what the fuck?
One dog goes one way, one dog goes the other way. And this guy says, what do you want from me?
You're funny, Tim.
Hey, he looks a little bit like.
What do you
Oh, yeah, right, he does. Look at that.
What do you mean you're funny?
Tim.
How am I funny? Am I a clown to you?
Am I a
Am I a
clown?
clown to you?
A clown?
Am I making you laugh?
Dance. Spider, dance, Spider.
Chad, where can we find you, buddy?
Where can you find me? Chad Prento, poetforhire.com. You can find me on Oddball Magazine. I'm on Facebook from time to time. Fuck it.
And big congratulations to Chad for celebrating Stone Soup's anniversary. And Chad is very, very important to Stone Soup in the history of Stone Soup.
Oh yeah. If you want to get a nice have a good time. For a good time, call Chad Brenda.
For a good time.
For a good time, go
Soup.
to Stone Soup on Wednesday and
I need to
hang
be
out
more in
with
the
Chad Brenda, who's
shadows
a
now.
great host, and he'll acknowledge you. You'll read poetry. If you
I
like
need more
reading
shadow.
poetry, he'll be there for you.
Where's my shadow? Here we go. There we go. I can't. Yeah.
He'll be there for you.
He'll be there for you. No, but honestly, Chad's a great host, and he's very welcoming.
And very often you can run into Robert Fleming and James Van Loy and some of the folks that we read.
You probably can ask him, what do you think? What do you think of how we
Has
talk
any
to
of them
him?
ever heard us recite their poems in our comments ever?
I sincerely hope the fuck not.
I don't think so, but I think it's great because they're all good people and it's all in fun. And if anything, we learned that bios people matter.
We are promoting their works. So
Yeah, but
and I would have, to be honest, I would have never heard of Lisa Olson if it wasn't for the show, which is great. And
was that the ice cream poem?
her accomplishments. I mean, her bio is great. So like, I know everything about her. And
He's being facetious, folks.
no. She's a great writer with a bio, and I also know. Yeah, we should have a trivia night. Like we can talk
But
about.
you know nothing about me, and my bio is 2 sentences long.
Who does lasarium? Like who does it?
That'd be what? Who is Richard Spizak?
That's correct. Oddball show for 400, Alex.
These are all categories of the oddball.
Yeah, right?
It's all Oddball magazine and potent potables. That's
She,
it.
who goes by 2 names, was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize.
I'll take no one in oddball for 5,000. That's correct.
Who is Susan Tepper?
Oh, that's right.
Jason, you control the board. BORED.
I'd like to call a lifeline. I'm going to call Chad.
I don't think that's how that. You're thinking of the wrong game.
I'd like to call Chad.
11:01, 11:03.
No, it's
What time
backwards.
is it?
It's 10:13.
Oh, 10:13. That's cool. Oh man. Well, anyway, I had a lot of fun.
I need more shadow. I can't.
So I think we should have contestants on and do like oddball bio.
Oddball bios.
Oddball bios.
in Kansas City, Stuart, Florida.
Maybe we should have a very special bio segment. We'll just read the bios and not the pieces.
Oh,
and then just guess who the person is. That's a good idea.
Exactly. That's a good idea.
I don't know. I'll never know who does Cosmic Spelunker Theater.
Oh,
what's the guess?
James Van Loy. Oddball bios for 600, Jason.
He's a poet of abs.
He's a poet of ABS breaks.
Poet of exercise. All right, everybody. This has been the week that was.
Please cut the cord and let me die.
Happy to be here. You can. I don't know. You can find my.
How can
work
I be
at
perfectly awake and alive and still feel like I'm on life support? Cut the cord, Jason. Please.
Right.
Shadows of the Scene. Pick it up.
Pick it up.
Chad is his TikTok is wonderful. It's Chad Poet for Hire.
Updating it if I'm not sick, but hey.
And if you want to follow me, I'm Oddball Foundation on TikTok. And if you're interested in joining Oddball Foundation and helping us volunteer, please reach out to us. All right. My name is Jason Wright. That was the week that was. Goodbye, Chad. Goodbye, Tim. Till next week.
The week that would not die.
The week that would not end. Bye, everybody.
The Oddball Show and the Oddball Foundation is dedicated to mental health advocacy through art.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oddball Show features content intended for mature audiences. If you'd like to view a content warning before listening, please check out the episode description. The views put forth by our hosts and our guest reflect the speaker's opinions and not the official stance of Oddball Foundation. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoy the show.